Next to me is Anahat Singh. And before I even get down to asking her a question, I just had a thought while we were walking up. It's 6 p.m. on a weekday. Are you even allowed to be here?
My mom's sitting right here, so I can be here for as long as I want to be.
Okay. It's one of those exceptions. Because, for those of you who don't know, she is the national squash champion at the moment. Just turned 16. And might I add, the youngest national champion in the history of our country. Just turned 16 yesterday. And before I ask you the next question, what I want all of you to do is think about what you were doing when you were 14 years of age. I know for a fact that I couldn't tie my shoelaces when I was 14. My favorite pastime was probably looking at a fan and then trying to speak to get a robotic voice out of that. Those are the things that I did when I was 14. This girl was playing the Asian Games. She represented India at the age of 14, playing against the best players in the world at the Commonwealth Games when she was just 14. And the year that's just gone by saw her participate for India at the Asian Games, and might I add, she won a couple of medals as well. So congratulations for that, Anahat.
Thank you.
Next up, I know you went to school. How was school today? She went to school in the morning, guys. Most of us must have gone to work, did various other things, household chores. She did her school and has come for the conclave now. How was your day at school?
Just a normal day. I've not been going to school as much right now because I'm going extra than how much I used to go, and my friends are really shocked to see me around. They just come up and stare at my face and like, I can't believe you're here, because they don't see me for months in a row. And yeah, it's great going to school constantly for so many days, and yeah, it's great to be around them.
I'm sure school really helps you out in terms of arranging the classes so that you can participate in the tournament as well. I just want to know, what's a typical day in your life?
If I'm not going to school, then it's just mainly training throughout the day, and as of right now, studying, because I have boards coming up in a month. But if I do go to school, then training in the morning, and I go to school for 6 hours, and then again training when I'm back, and studying and finishing my homework.
How's the preparation for the board exams?
I don't think I want to talk about that.
She doesn't want to talk about it. Well, that's okay. You have an alternate career as well already, flourishing career at that. I want to know, I'm a father to a 10-year-old, and she knows every Taylor Swift song that there is, every Ariana Grande song that there is. I want to know, are you a regular 14, 16-year-old who knows every Taylor Swift song? Are you always standing in front of the mirror mouthing those lyrics?
I definitely don't do that, but all my friends are obsessed with Taylor Swift, so I do hear her everywhere if I'm with them, but I'm more into Coldplay.
Coldplay? Wow. Have you seen them perform live?
No, I really want to, but my mom is not allowing me.
Mom's right there. If she wins the medal at the Olympic Games, get her a live Coldplay concert. I've attended one, I must tell you, incredible. Chris Martin, if you're listening, you have a big fan in Anahat, maybe someday she will be there attending that live concert. In terms of your childhood, you're a sports player, and when you're playing, you may not have that kind of luxury as to do what girls your age do, as I mentioned. You like music, I'm sure you like going out. Do you ever get that, I'm going to use a term that's used by your generation, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Do you get that?
Always, almost every day. Like, if I'm scrolling through Instagram and seeing my friends' stories, I'm always seeing that they're going out for lunch or dinner, or they're always together. But I do miss out on a lot of that, and I do get very jealous. But it's also that I get to travel so much because of tournaments, and then they come up to me and are like, you're so lucky that you get to travel the world. So they're getting just as much FOMO from me as well.
Yeah, I think even out. But is there any point in your life you feel, no, I should have been, the regular life is better, I took sport, but regrets at all?
I wouldn't say that I regret it. Like you said, I do have a lot of FOMO, but I love traveling and I love playing. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoy doing it. So it's not that I regret playing.
Okay, tell us how it all started. How did you take up squash, your love for the sport?
I used to play badminton when I was 6, and I played till I was 8 or 9. And then for a few years, I was juggling between squash and badminton. And my elder sister, Mira, she used to play squash. And just going with her for a few tournaments and traveling and going with my parents and just watching her play for training sessions, I really enjoyed the sport. I was always into playing different sports, even in school. And yeah, I just really enjoyed how squash was, and I tried going for a few tournaments and trying out the sport, and I really loved it. So for a few years, I was juggling between both of them, but if I wanted to play professionally, I understood that I had to pick one of them, and I went with squash.
Okay, as the cliche goes, maybe badminton's loss is squash's gain because we've got a champion like you. You just mentioned that you play other sport as well. Do you still play other sport?
I don't get to as much anymore because just in case I get injured, or I don't even get that much time to do it anymore.
But do you, like, let's say there's a sports day at school, do you participate?
I do participate. Like last month, I was running an 800 meter and I pulled a muscle in my stomach and I wasn't able to play properly for 4 days. So I don't think I'm going to be doing sports day again after that.
Oh, so why did you then, I'm sure your trainer, everyone else must be upset that why did you run 800 meters, right? Concentrate on your squash because that's what they want you to do. Was there a lot of trouble because of that?
Not really, because I've not gotten the chance to do sports day or interact in many of the school activities because I'm never in town. But this is the first time I've been in Delhi after really, really long. And yeah, I was happy and I won, so I'm not going to regret that.
The 800 meters as well. Wow, true athlete that Anahat is. Okay, tell us about your older sibling. And I often wonder, why is it because it's your older sibling, your sister, because of which you started playing squash, because she used to play squash. What is it about the younger siblings being the better sportsmen? I mean, I can think of 100 examples. It's mostly the younger siblings that become better at sports than the older one. Is there some science behind that?
I don't really think so. It's just that in my case, my parents, like we both played squash, so my parents just understood a bit more about the sport and what we had to do just for me to get into a higher level and the right way I had to train, how many hours I had to put in. I think that experience was just a lot more with me than with my sister because like squash is not a very popular sport. So when like, she played a lot earlier than I did, and that time no one really knew about it. And I think now, over the years, when I started playing, it became a bit more popular and people started to understand a bit more about it. So I think that's a huge thing, like for me personally, though.
Okay, do the siblings still play squash, you and your sister? Is it competitive?
Yeah, she still does, and she's in Harvard in the US, and she's a part of the squash team. But I don't think there's like a rivalry like that because she's 5 years older than me and her game is a lot more different than how mine is. Like she's more about hitting the ball hard and I'm more about just running around and hitting it like really gently and like yeah, I don't think there's a rivalry like that, but we're siblings on and off court. We always do fight, but she's always been really supportive in any case, like especially during COVID as well. That we didn't really have anyone to train with. We would practice together and train together, and that's one of the main reasons why my gaming like went up so much.
Okay, I've been listening to you for the last 10 odd minutes, and the first thing that really strikes me about your personality is that you're a shy, soft-spoken girl. And sports is anything but that, right? You need to be aggressive, you need to be a go-getter when you're on the pitch. I mean, is there that side to your personality?
Outside court, yeah, a little bit, but when I'm inside court, I do anything I can to win.
Anything?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is an aggressive side to her. In fact, if you do check out some of her videos, you'll realize then a lot of times she's playing against girls, double her age, much bigger in size, looking very athletic, but when she really hits a squash ball, it stays hit. So that is something that you need to check out when you see her videos as well. The other thing that, squash is all about, one is stamina, as you said, the movement. The other is the power. It's a power game. You really need to have those hard-hitting forehands. Looking at you, a petite young girl. Where does all that power come from?
I don't think the strength in squash, especially, it doesn't really matter on your body type. It's more about the way you hit the ball. And my coach has taught me a way on how I can hit the ball just as hard as anyone else could, because I'm still 16 and I can't really do that much of weight training, and my muscles, I don't really have any muscles right now. So yeah, there's a certain technique to hit it, and I'm working more on that right now.
Okay. Tell us, one is, of course, the power. The other is the agility on that. I speak to a lot of other players that play squash, and the one complaint that they have about you is that Anahat never warms up. You're blessed with good genes, not warming up, and yet, playing that well as you do?
I never used to warm up, never, not even once. Even if it's the most important match of my life, I never would. But I have started warming up now. I'm forced into it. Even no matter how much I complain, my coach just makes sure I'm doing it no matter what, because in the long term, it's really, really important. Like I said, I have no muscles right now, so I'm not going to get injured. But in the long term, once it does start to develop, it won't be good.
Okay, we're running out of time, but I have one final question. And for all you 30, 40-year-olds, don't take her advice. Warm up every time you play any sport. She's 16. She can afford to do that. Squash is at the Olympic Games. Tell us a bit about that. It's going to be not now, but the games that happen in 2028. Squash is going to be there, and Anahat will be 20 by then. Your first reaction when you got to know squash is going to be at the Olympic Games, and are you primed to be playing there, Los Angeles?
I think my reaction would have been like any other athlete. Squash hadn't been in the Olympics. This is the first time it's been in the Olympics, and we were all together. It was announced the day after Asian Games, and it was the highest medal tally India's ever got for squash. And I think the timing it was announced was just perfect. Everyone was waiting for it to happen. We knew a bit about it, but it's still just as exciting to hear about it. And the fact that I'm going to be at my peak physically and mentally, I think that's a really big advantage, and I'm really grateful that it was perfectly timed, and hopefully get a medal as well.
All right. Wish you all the very best for that. That's all the time that we have with Anahat Singh. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And Anahat is going to be there. Get your selfies if you want, because once she gets that medal at the Olympics, she's going to be very tough to catch. Thank you so much, Anahat.